to play the game. It's all about the game, and how you play it, all about control. And if you can take it, all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it? I am the game, you don't wanna play.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio, episode number 33. I'm your host, Coach Kev, along with the real number 8, JT, who's in the house, and happy to be. And we like to wish everybody a happy Survivor Series Sunday on this very, very cold Sunday evening here on the East Coast. And we'll be speaking to somebody who is on the West Coast later on in the program, former ECW and TNA star, and star of 2 movies that are coming out very soon, Jasmin St. Clair, as she'll be calling in a little later in the program. And without further ado, let's get right into it today. Okay, so we're going to get right into our shout-out program. And as always, this part of the program is shout-out time. Happy birthday to Damage alum and Hall of Famer Bob Sullivan. Happy birthday to former team captain and Hall of Famer Jody Fairbairn.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Hall of Fame catcher Jennifer Perillo.
Happy birthday.
And happy birthday to Damage alum Jamie Corelli.
Happy birthday.
And a special happy birthday to a caller from last week, a buddy of ours, Pipe Bomb Radio's Felix Olmedo.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to everybody.
And now, the John Tory story.
And to bring you that, as always, is the real number 8, JT.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, was probably the coldest Sunday of the year. And making it the coldest Sunday made it for some fun football time. Because that's what I've been looking forward to. And today, you know what I seen? Something I wasn't looking forward to. And that was the New York Jets getting clobbered by the Baltimore Ravens. Who didn't see that one coming, right?
You.
Me. Had my bear goggles on. And finally, the Baltimore Ravens ran into a team with more offensive problems than their own. And the result was a refreshing beatdown on the New York Jets.
What was the final score of that game?
A lot to a little.
No, really, what was it?
It was 19-3. I'm not laughing. Smiling, but I'm not laughing. We did get to see one highlight in that game. The highlight was Joe Flacco's 66-yard touchdown pass to his wide receiver, who he's glad to have back, Jacoby Jones. And their kicker also added 4 field goals. That was a good fantasy pickup, if you play fantasy football. I do, but I didn't pick him up.
Yeah.
I had Nick Folk. I got an amazing 3.
Your only points.
Their only points. The New York Jets have alternated wins and losses in their first 10 games, but that pattern ended today. Can't string 2 W's together, but at least 2 L's.
Well, like I said, I'm surprised the Jets have a website since they can't string 3 W's together.
That's right. No, that's Team 2 L's right there. Sadly, Jets coach Rex Ryan, who ran Baltimore's defense from 1999 until the year 2008, has fallen to 0-3 against his former team. The Baltimore Ravens today, they tried several ploys and plots to spice up their stagnant offense. Ray Rice could not really get it going. Last year was his lone highlight of the year, I would say, with 131 yards rushing, but only 28 today. The Ravens used their backup quarterback, Tyrod Taylor in a variety of formations and combinations. And not only did he receive a direct snap and run, but he also handed the ball off and caught a pass in the most extensive action of the season. Excuse me. I had my words caught up. Geno Smith with a reception today. Did you ever think you'd hear those words coming out of my mouth? Geno Smith with an 18-yard reception from Joshua Cribbs. And he also completed an 18-yard pass to Greg Salas, but I would say that was basically his only highlight of the day, finishing the day with 127 yards passing and 2 interceptions, along with no touchdowns. And Geno Smith, much like my good old pal Mark Sanchez, seems to be regressing instead of progressing as a quarterback in the NFL. Of course, I got to listen to Phil Simms say, another learning curve for Geno Smith.
It's his first season. You can't regress in your first season.
I don't care. He had 41 yards passing after 3 quarters. He had 3 completions in the first half.
You can't regress in your first season. You regress in your 3rd and 4th season, Mark Sanchez.
Really? You can't regress in your first season?
It's called video. You get off to a great start, teams watch video, they learn how to play you, and your job as an offensive coordinator, a head coach, and a quarterback is to change your game plan from the video that everybody's already seen. That's how you progress. You can't regress in one season. It's a learning curve the entire season. I told you since day one, deal with it.
Well, if Rex Ryan is looking to change up his plan of action for the New York Jets...
Rex Ryan's going to be planning on changing up his team next year.
He just needs to change his quarterback.
And colors and divisions, because he will not be a New York Jets head coach in 2014.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
No.
I'm not focused on Rex Ryan right now. I'm focused on who he's putting out there. And look at it. Rex Ryan, you need to grow a pair, and you need to put Geno Smith on the bench, because that's where he belongs. In his last 6 games, he's thrown 10 interceptions compared to his 1 touchdown pass. That's horrendous.
It is.
The running back for the Oakland Raiders, Rashad Jennings, who is a backup to Darren McFadden.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, he has just as many touchdown passes as Geno Smith in that span.
Was that 1?
1. 1 and
That's all we got is 1 goddamn touchdown?
That's it. And it really, really, really wasn't the New York Jets' day. I expected them to keep the pattern going, pull out a win, you know? But I was wrong. Sadly mistaken. And, you know, they do have a favorable schedule ahead of them, the New York Jets. A very favorable
What, they're off for the rest of the season?
Ha! Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be so
Well, I gave them the last 4 games off.
Might as well take them off, because ain't doing anything special here.
Oh,
They
man.
look to play the... Who do they play next week? The Miami Dolphins.
Oh, God.
Battle of the 5 and 6 teams, trying to round up the crap in the AFC East. Because the only team in the AFC East that looks like any type of contender is the New England Patriots. Obviously, yes, I know. I sound like a broken record, because if I had been on the air for the past 13 years, that's what I'd be saying every year. Nothing else. The Jets after that go to face the Oakland Raiders, or the Oakland Raiders come to face the New York Jets. The Jets don't fare very well on the road, and they have 1 road test ahead of them against the Carolina Panthers the week after that. And then they'll round out the season with Cleveland and at Miami, but that doesn't seem to be, like, a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Tory Story. Look forward to better news next week.
And the rant is over.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great minute here tonight.
Andre, the giant WrestleMania! Hulkamania is running west! My God, what a
And at this time, we'd like to welcome in one of our analysts with Damage 365, Nick. How you doing today?
Doing great, guys. How about you?
Not bad,
We're
not
good,
bad.
Nick.
Okay, we're going to get into a little WWE since it's the eve of Survivor Series. I'm improving for you because I probably didn't prepare you for this today, but
all good.
We're not going to get into match predictions because some of them are a little predictable. Do you feel there's going to be any unpredictable change that's going to go on? Is somebody going to turn face? Is somebody going to turn heel? Is there a storyline that's going to inject itself into tonight's Survivor Series?
That's the thing. There's got to be something because the pay-per-view itself, from top to bottom, isn't that exciting. Obviously, the Punk Bryan versus the Wyatt family match will be relatively good. But at the same time, there's going to be some kind of surprise that they're going to throw in there. People have been throwing around Big Show joining the corporation and screwing over Orton, which I really doubt. There's a lot of things that could happen, but there's going to be some kind of surprise, whether it's a small one or a big one.
Yeah, right. What do you think? What do you think, John?
I'm thinking something that we've discussed earlier in the week. Roman Reigns turning face.
Okay.
Very possible.
Nick, if you got the show on in the background, you got to turn it down. I got for feedback.
No, I don't even have it on in the background.
Oh, okay. It's probably our own feedback. So, all right, yeah, I got Roman Reigns coming down, interfering in the Randy Orton match. Of course, everybody thinks he's going to knock out or take out the Big Show, but he winds up knocking out or spearing Randy Orton. But it does cost the Big Show the match as a disqualification, but it sets up Roman Reigns going out on his own. That's one angle I got today, and the other one is I think we might find out who the devil is tonight. You think
that's also something really that could possibly happen as well. I mean, if you look at it, at one point I thought it was Kane, the way the Wyatt family was speaking and everything, and Daniel Bryan being the former partner of Kane. I thought Kane was quote-unquote devil, but now we definitely don't see that. But
I think for once in a long time, WWE is going to surprise us, even though a lot of people out there are saying that it's going to be The Undertaker. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think we're going to see an Undertaker sighting to at least a month before WrestleMania, if not 2 months before WrestleMania. They got to resurrect him coming back from when the Shield took him out, and then build about 30 days of a storyline going into WrestleMania, if he even competes in WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Other rumors of tonight are possibly Mark Henry returning, which interjecting into the WWE title match.
I don't actually see him getting involved in the WWE title match. I actually see him possibly getting involved in the Intercontinental Championship match with Big E Langston.
That would be Big E versus Mark Henry. That'd be a great matchup.
Yeah, that would definitely be.
I think he's going to get involved in the World Heavyweight title match.
With Cena?
Yeah.
I guess.
Before he left, they had a little problem.
They had a little issue, but he did a little face turn before he left. So
if he didn't get hurt again, I feel him versus the Cena Henry feud would have been very, very good.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out because I don't think at all that Alberto Del Rio is going to win the championship.
You better not.
Yeah, well,
maybe Cena overcomes odds.
Well, of course he does. He's Superman.
You think Cena's going to overcome? That's a long shot right there.
He's Superman. Of course he's going to, come on. That's like saying that if I had 3 slices of pizza, I wouldn't have to go to the bathroom.
How do you know?
Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
You think we'll get to see Sister Abigail?
That's another possibility. That could be the devil. That would probably be an NXT female wrestler of some sort that would be making her appearance.
I would love that to be Paige.
A lot of people would love that to be Paige. My issue with that is that if they were going to do something like that, they should have went with Bray Wyatt's actual sister. She's very, very involved, not wrestling herself, but she's very involved in the business. And, she's Mike Rotunda's daughter. So if you're Mike Rotunda's daughter and you can't wrestle, then, you better get another profession.
Exactly.
So that's what I was hoping would happen. Or maybe, maybe the Undertaker resurrects himself and he resurrects Sister Abigail. And they form a little dark ministry, the Undertaker, the Wyatt family.
I'd like to see that.
And at the same time, if that were to happen, Undertaker wouldn't have to show up every week. It would be one of those things where he could come back as the leader randomly because he's got that much power to him.
Yeah, or he can just do interviews via satellite or just his influence and his aura. You know, a casket going on fire, even though he's home sitting in his house. You know, everybody's gonna think the Undertaker's there, or his music hits randomly and everybody freaks out, but he's not there. But just the aura around him and anything that has to do with him, the Undertaker's influence is felt regardless if he's there or not.
I totally agree.
Yo, it is absolutely freaking freezing, bro.
I got my jacket on.
He's doing a show in a jacket. I got long sleeves. My freaking teeth are chattering. My dog's under a blanket.
I got a hood on. I got a sweatshirt. I got my Damage 365 winter hat that I just made the other day. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw it. It's good. It's cool. Yeah, it's cold, bro. It's
You need to get me one of those.
It's cold. Maybe you know, when Jasmine calls in about 3 minutes, maybe she can warm us up with some good wrestling dirt from back in the day. Looking forward to hearing from her with days of the heyday of ECW and TNA, and I want to find out if she thinks TNA is going to be able to ever compete with WWE like WCW did in the Monday Night Wars.
Well, I think they had their shot when they first came about. And they had they had Foley, Jeff Jarrett.
Well, that was it. Jeff Jarrett ran the show, and that's when it was successful.
Eric Bischoff also drew eyes to the screen. They had Hogan. You know, they had a lot of primetime players, if you want to say. Pardon my pun.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Millions of dollars.
But I just see TNA taking a nosedive, man. I really do.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, it's hard to watch sometimes.
They have so much talent there, and it's really hard to watch the storylines that they bring about. The talent is there. It's just the backstage and the front office that really needs to step up and make it worthwhile for the fans to watch.
Right. Well, also, when you're feuding with other wrestlers, I don't think that you should be standing next to them on the stage.
Yep.
Seen that all too much.
All right, let's see. Do we have Ms. Jasmine St. Clair on the line? I don't know if she's there. Jasmine, are you with us? Well, her music hit, but I don't hear it.
Delayed entrance.
Let's see. Jasmine, you with us?
Hello.
Nick, you're still with us, right?
I'm still here.
Why? What is going on? Jasmine. I don't know what happened with it.
Possibly some technical difficulties.
So what else is new?
This is what we major in here at Damage 365 Radio.
Nick, did we lose you? I think we lost Nick. Oh,
well,
my God.
That's why we have technical difficulties.
I don't understand.
It's alright.
He just lost connection.
Ha. See, our listeners are anxious to hear from Jasmine St. Clair, so we're building up the hype.
We'll just have Nick call in.
We are building up the hype. And if we can't speak to her, at least we get to talk to Nick. Fear the beard. I wonder if he still got it going.
Yeah, he does.
Of course.
He went to like a beard convention or something.
Get birds caught in there.
Well, apparently we're not going to have to cue out the music again. We're going to hopefully Jasmine calls us back.
Well, I would expect her to.
Well, anyway, back to Survivor Series. You know, we're hoping that we hope that Nick comes back, but Nick's here, right, Nick?
I'm back.
All right, he's back. We have to play like Eric Bischoff's music. I'm back.
And better than ever.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Somehow we got disconnected with that call. But anyway, getting back to Survivor Series, we're kind of looking forward to the classic match because, you know, who doesn't like the classic the Survivor Series style elimination.
I love it.
I wish that they would go back towards the old days where you would have 5, 6 of those matches and then possibly a world title match or something along those lines. It just made Survivor Series more interesting because they'd pair up a bunch of random guys, and it was fun to watch.
No, I agree 100%. I was watching on I have Verizon Fios, and they give you like little tidbits where you can watch like Survivor Series from other years.
Yep, I've been watching that as well.
I know, I've been watching it all week. It was pretty cool. It was, Bret Hart, and they even showed the Montreal Screwjob too.
Yeah, I wish they would go back to. They don't have to go back to the Attitude Era as some fans want. I just wish they would take a little bits and pieces from certain eras and bring it back, like the classic Survivor Series elimination matches as a whole in a pay-per-view and things like that. It just makes it more interesting for the fans.
No, I agree 100%, and I just don't know. I mean, you're filling a 3-hour pay-per-view with, I don't know, just like it's just
with filler matches.
Yeah, it's just crap. I mean, like at one point, is even Dolph Ziggler even on the card?
No, he's not, and
no.
That's very sad.
But meanwhile, JoJo is on the card.
And Eva Maria is on the card, and it really makes no sense because there's only 3 matches that have any type of backstory, and that's 3 matches. You have the world title, you have the WWE title, and then you have the Wyatt family versus Punk and Bryan. Those are the only matches with a storyline.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. What do you got tonight? You got Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, the best in the beard, against the Wyatt family, minus Bray Wyatt. Who do you think's taking that one?
That's a tough one because I feel like both teams are going to have their positive moments, but I just feel you can't have the Wyatt family lose in this situation. They're up and coming. You need to push them as much as possible, and I feel like Punk and Bryan are still going to get their time to shine during the show. But I feel overall, whether it's a messed up finish, a cheap finish by the Wyatt family, I still feel that they might take it.
Okay. We didn't get your final pick regarding John Cena and Alberto Del Rio. Are you going with the obvious John Cena pick?
I'm not rooting for Cena, but I'm not rooting for Del Rio either, but Cena will win. It's just the way it goes. Cena's going to win, obviously.
Okay, what about Randy Orton and Big Show?
I think Randy Orton will win. They're gonna keep pushing him. He's going to be in the title picture for a while, probably through WrestleMania.
Okay.
I like the Big Show.
I don't think he's going to win the title, though.
He may win the match. He's not going to win the title, though.
He might win the war. He's
Yeah.
not going to win the title.
Give him a run for a month or 2. Let him hold it. It's been like 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the fact that he's over 7 feet tall, he's over 400 pounds, no human being in wrestling should even beat him, period.
Ryback shouldn't be able to pick him up.
Well, Ryback picked him up, but Ryback's a big, strong, damn guy, man.
Yeah, I know, but
it's
460 pounds?
That's... Ryback is, there's no doubt in the guy's strength. His wrestling's got a little bit better, but from what goes on around in the locker room is just that his head hasn't improved much. He's
very immature when it comes to the wrestling mentality that you need, the professionalism that you need backstage. He's just not there yet.
He's not there yet, and he tries to improv his matches against the wishes of the creative minds.
Yeah, exactly.
He used one of his matches. He used a spear and a jackhammer.
Hopefully that'll come with time with him because he does have the size that the WWE looks for. But you have to go by the book when it comes to that. You have to listen to, like you said, what the creative minds say. They're the ones that write the paychecks, and you got to listen to them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well,
I couldn't agree more, actually, because Ryback trying to pull off the whole Goldberg imitation, like my friend Coach Kev said, not flying.
He's in the doghouse for that.
And he should be.
Well, if you're gonna pull off 2 Goldberg moves, you can't go on your Twitter page and tell everybody how you didn't want to fight Goldberg, but Goldberg knows who you are, and you'd be happy to take him on any day. And
the thing is, I just don't see that match happening because neither guy is going to want a job. neither one of them is going to want to lose that match.
No.
And Goldberg's already said he's not going to come back and face Ryback. Wow, nice one. Ryback, because he doesn't want to lose. He's not going to come back for one match and lose.
No. And if he's going to come back, it's going to be on his terms. It's just like a lot of other guys. If they're going to come back, they're going to come back on their terms. They're not going to come back to job to anybody. That's why, as much as I'm not really a Chris Jericho fan per se, for him when he comes back, he puts guys over.
He'll put anybody over that the WWE asked to. Like, you could send JT in there, and Chris Jericho would job to him if need be.
Yeah, man.
Because I got skills in the ring.
We still need to see you get body slammed. That needs to happen.
I'll be doing the body slamming.
I don't know about that.
I'll drop the flying elbow.
You're right, though. Jericho will job to anybody that asks.
Yeah. Speaking about body slamming and this guy next to me, December 6th is JCW Wrestling in Dunellen, New Jersey. And we have been invited back as a group, so I extend the invitation to you, Nick, as well. I know you got work and everything else, but
I actually would. I'm actually going to be in New York City for that weekend. I'm going to be at a beard and mustache competition at Irving Plaza.
And you better win.
Yeah, you got the endorsement from Ricky O. You better win.
Yeah, if Ricky O gives me the endorsement, I got to do something.
You got a wrestling promoter's endorsement on your beard and your mustache, then you have to finish top.
365 hat. I'm going to do some promoting for us as well down there. So try to get the name out a little bit.
All right, and I'm hoping this guy next to me, unless he's got work, which works first, number one priority, but we hope we're representing a couple deep at JCW.
I think I'll be able to rearrange my schedule.
Yeah. I've been lined up, though, to interview former WWE star Matt Stryker.
Awesome.
And former ECW Rhino.
That's great. I wish I could be there. I would have loved to help interview those two, because those two are definitely big names in the wrestling world.
Maybe I could have Rhino gore me.
That would be great.
I would pay to see. I will make sure I'm there if Rhino's scoring you.
I will sit on the opposite turnbuckle with the camera. And watch you snap in half.
Happy to do that.
And watch Jonathan's head get full view of his own ass.
You guys better help put me back together.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't fix it, duck it.
That's right.
That little duct tape and Velcro can't fix.
Exactly.
So, I don't know what happened to our caller.
Something better?
I don't know what happened. She just disappeared off the face of the earth.
I saw when I was on Skype, I saw that there was a split call and that her account was activated, but didn't hear anything.
Nope, didn't hear anything. She's now offline. I sent her
technical issues too. You really never know.
Yeah, I mean it could be. I mean it looks like she's using Skype through her cell phone, so she could have went somewhere where there was no service or anything could have happened. So we hope that she's okay.
Maybe she has Sprint.
I have Sprint.
I have Sprint too.
Well, maybe she has Verizon then.
There you go.
Something else.
Maybe she's got Virgin Mobile or some other prepaid piece of crap.
Some Nextel.
Yeah, Nextel.
Yeah, get service anyway.
Only time you ever got service when there was a major emergency. The Direct Connect worked, but the cell phone did not.
Yes.
So.
Jasmine, where you at?
I guess she's not calling. So.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to reschedule that with her, and hopefully, because I definitely think she has a lot to say about the business, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from her soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, next week we have Destiny giving us a call. Everybody has seen Destiny did an interview for us at our last JCW house event in Manville that we went to.
She has a very insightful mind.
Yes, she is going to give us a little insight of the business from the ring announcer's standpoint and ring chaperone, and she's also the former chaperone, aka manager of Jerry the King Lawler.
So hopefully we can get some Jerry Lawler stories from her too.
Oh wait, I think we're getting a call from. Whoops. Hold on, Nick. We're getting a call. Okay. Jasmine, you with us?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Jasmine's with us finally. We thought we lost you.
No, everything's great. I just came back from an event.
All right, cool.
Place for Talks event, and everything's good.
All right, awesome. Nick, you still with us?
Still with you.
Sorry, bro. I dropped you on the floor.
That's all right.
All right, Jasmine, we have a couple questions we like to ask you regarding the wrestling business and getting a little bit into your future endeavors of movies that you're doing now.
Absolutely.
One of the first questions I had was, tell us your experience that you had with ECW in its heyday, and how did it feel to take a pile driver off the middle rope from Rhino?
Let me tell you, there was like no adrenaline rush better than that. It was really scary, but it happened so fast, and everything with that is just timing, and one small thing could just slip up and everything's different, you try to completely get paralyzed or whatever, but you know what? It was fun. I'm one of these people, I have no fear with anything I do.
Well, that's good because, one little, like you said, one little mix-up, you could have probably broke your neck.
I don't like people that have fear. Anyone that has fear, anyone that has fear in any aspect of their life, I don't like it. It says a lot about a person when they're an adventure to them, and I like having that type of adventure to me.
All right.
I love that adventure.
As far as ECW was concerned, how was that experience? Because going to an ECW show was just crazy.
It was one of the best places to work. I really want to thank Paul Heyman to this day for giving me a chance. The Dudley Boys, I was friends with Bubba and Devon. They're actually the ones that got me involved in ECW. And, I obviously wish them the best with, their endeavors and whatever they're doing. ECW was really one of a kind, and it reminded me sort of being on the island of misfit toys. And I loved it. Everyone was great. I love working with Paul. I love working with everyone. There was not one bad experience there, ever.
All right, awesome. Who, in your opinion, was the toughest female competitor that you ever came across?
In the what?
Your toughest female competitor you ever came across?
I really wouldn't say anything in wrestling. I watch a lot of Latina, but in wrestling, I really like Sherry Martel. Medusa was really cool. And she did like a mixed tag match with Sherry Martel. I like Medusa a lot too. I was a big Medusa fan. It's a shame what happened to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Medusa was great for female wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on, I lost you.
You lost me.
I lost Nick. Nick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what was your question?
I can't hear him.
I can't. Nick, speak again. I can hear you. He wanted to know what drew you to the wrestling business.
I grew up watching it. I used to go watch a lot of the wrestling shows at the Garden with my grandmother. She didn't really took me to Canada to see the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. I was always into that. I always liked sports growing up, and I really liked the theatrics behind it and everything.
All right, so that was in what? That was in Toronto, correct?
Unlike nowadays, you have so many girls get into that. That was instructive, but unlike nowadays, you get so many of these stupid girls that wanted like wrestling just to be on TV for the wrong reason. Rumor has it that a previous contestant on Tough Enough, some girl that was there, wanted to be in the WWE just so it would bring up her social media ranking, which is just ridiculous. You have to be in it. And in my opinion, people like that deserve to get hurt at some point or have an accident or a slip up.
Absolutely, it's an insult to the company.
It is. If you're there just to improve your social status, then you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Well, it's an insult to people that have worked really hard all their lives, that are out there busting their asses, and go through everything and they've paid their dues.
Okay, no, I agree with that. Nick, what was your other question?
Who was the most influential person during your time in wrestling?
Yep.
For that question. Let's see. Well, I like Miss Elizabeth. She's one of my favorite managers. Nancy Sullivan. That was definitely one of my mentors, and I really liked Medusa a lot.
Okay. We just did a tribute show last week for the late Macho Man Randy Savage, which a lot of his promos included Miss Elizabeth. I don't know if you got to listen to that, but Macho Man Randy Savage was a big part of my life and a big part of me becoming a wrestling fan. So obviously Miss Elizabeth was a big part of that as well.
Yeah, it's a shame what happened.
Okay. Your experience with TNA wrestling, do you see TNA wrestling ever becoming a force to push WWE like WCW did back in the Monday Night Wars?
I hope so, because it really sucks when there's no competition that's legit. Of course, I'm a big WWE fan. It's a shame that Vince bought up all the companies and, it just leaves no real competition. I hope they do really well. I hope TNA does really well. I hope that they give them, some competition.
Do you see yourself getting back into wrestling again?
Never say never.
Never say never. I like that answer. Okay, we're gonna get into your movies.
This Wade movie, and I'm also working on the Cape Crusader.
Okay.
It's a Batman style movie, but they can't use the B word because then we'll have to give Batman money. But it's like one of those festival type run films. I worked on a couple of TV shows. Some of them I'm not really allowed to talk about. I'm working on another show we're pitching in January. And of course I have Blue Squid and Night Chills up next year. Those two are the big ones. And I'm really excited to work on Blue Squid.
You allowed to talk?
Movie, not any other mob movie.
Are you allowed to talk about Army of the Damned?
That was a fun movie. It was cool to work with I work with some really cool people on the film. I work with Nick Principe, who's a friend of mine. I work with Tommy Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a nice movie. It was cool.
That was a pretty interesting cast. I was looking at that Army of the Damned. You had Joey Fatone, Maria Kanellis, Rosita.
I love Rosita.
And the Candyman.
I heard to WWE diva. I'm like, what's up with that? She's like so pretty and so talented.
You're not going to get any disagreeing over here.
Nope.
Okay, but yeah, okay, that's another story for another time, but okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of other shows you could call in and give us any dirt you'd like.
And then I also worked on Catch of the Day, which comes out in a couple of months. So right now I'm going to the Atlantic City Bazaar Convention Friday the 13th through the 15th of December in Atlantic City. And I'll be signing there. I actually have my Blue Suede posters with me. That's really cool. Like Robert Miano's working on it, some other really big names, but it's going to be an awesome production, and I can't wait.
Very nice, very nice. Are you on the poster of the Blue Suede movie poster?
I have my own poster. They have some great promotion behind them and great distribution, which I'm not allowed to speak about. It's funny when people use the word unethical and, show business or entertainment in the same sentence because it's okay to be unethical in this type of business. Actually, you know what? It's okay to be unethical in anything. Who cares?
Right.
It makes life more spicy, but I respect my non-disclosure agreements, unlike some actors.
Nobody wants any unnecessary legal trouble, that's for sure.
Right.
I mean, if there's any way that you'd be able to send us a movie poster, maybe that features you, and give us a little shout out on the poster, we definitely hang it in the studio.
Absolutely. Email me your address and I'll make sure they get one to you. It'll be awesome, and I definitely look forward to Atlantic City Bazaar Convention. I can't wait to meet my fans. I don't do a lot of signings every year, and when I do, it's just far and few between. So just because I'm doing that convention this year doesn't mean I'll be there next year. I get around a lot with these.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add, that you're promoting, that you're doing right now?
No, just stalk me on Twitter. And Jasmin Sinclair, no E at the end of Jasmin. E at the end of Claire. Instagram, The Real Jasmin Sinclair. Of course, my Facebook.
All right, awesome. And everybody can get that information also from our Facebook account and from our Twitter account, as we've had communications with Jasmin St. Clair all week leading up to this interview. And Jasmine, we'd like to thank you very, very much for coming on the show, and we wish you lots of luck in your future movies, and we do hope to get you back in the squared circle.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'd love to be back in the square circle. And by the way, just for the guys listening, I'm single. I like guys that have a rap sheet tattooed on their chest or back, and I like guys that are dysfunctional. So just to put that out there. But thank you very much for having me on the show.
All right, take care. Enjoy your sushi.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
How do you know we were sushi?
Because we're good like that. We're good like that.
And that was Jasmine St. Clair, ladies and gentlemen. That was pretty cool.
She's a riot.
She's awesome.
The reason why we knew that she was eating sushi, I guess she forgot, is when she called us before the show and she asked what time to call in because she was going to get sushi. So apparently she forgot to tell us.
Left her out there.
She probably thinks we got eyes in the sky. Oh my God! But yeah, cool. I mean, it's always good to talk to any female that is involved in the wrestling business to kind of get the look from a female aspect. You know, it's easy for a guy to talk about wrestling. It's easy for male fans to talk about female wrestling. But to get a female wrestler talking about female wrestling is something different. I mean, she mentioned Medusa, Miss Elizabeth, Sensational Sherry, Nancy Sullivan. I mean, those are some of those names we haven't heard in years. Unfortunately, some of them is because they were deceased, and other ones because they left on really bad terms, like Medusa. And she just, she walked out because of Vince McMahon, and she went to WCW, and her career really never rebounded after that, wrestling-wise. But she's doing very well in her monster truck racing.
And it's nice to see that these women are real-life inspirations to other women.
And they're real. They're not just plastic Barbie dolls on the screen, with the guys, chanting TNA and hoping things fall out of outfits. Right. They're entertainers. They're doing this because this is what they love to do, and it's the same reasons why the guys do it. So
exactly.
They need to be respected. They need to be respected more.
Something more recent is a girl like Lita. Pictures fly around all the time of AJ Lee meeting Lita when she was a kid, and that's her inspiration to get into the business.
Right. Yep. No, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And she said one of her inspirations was Miss Elizabeth, and one of the major reasons why she got into wrestling, if people didn't understand some of the interview, because she was suffering from cellulitis, because there was a lot of gargling going on with her cell phone. But she did mention the Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 6 match in Toronto was one of her big inspirations to get into wrestling, which is kind of weird.
It's nice to talk with someone like that who isn't just a fan of just the publicity, who's actually a fan of the sport itself, and can go back to a time like that when with Warrior and Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, of all the things that she could have brought up, as her inspiration or wrestlers, she brought up Hogan and Warrior. I mean, Hogan was the poster child of the golden era. The Warrior was the next up and coming thing. It was kind of the passing of the torch, so we thought back then. So it's easy for anybody to get caught up in that and say, you know what, I want to become a wrestler. So
that's what I said.
I just didn't think it was going to be a female saying that. I mean, could have been anybody. She could have said Miss Elizabeth. She could have said Sensational Sherry. She could have said, I was watching Wendy Richter as a kid, at the first WrestleMania. I was just shocked that she used that match as her inspiration. So I mean,
it was great insight into the business coming from her for sure.
It was, and we'll get some more insight next week with Destiny, because she's been all over the map with wrestling, and she's seen them all, and she's managed them all, and she's introduced them all, and we'll get to talk to her on next week's show, which is December 1st. And we'll be at the show December 6th. She will also be at the show. So we'll do a little follow-up while we're at the show, now that we're coming, buddy with Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. She's good people.
It's nice to be in there with the wrestlers.
It is.
Nice to be in there with JCW, too.
It is. Ricky O does a fine job. Does a great job promoting. They're adding shows left and right. And I'm souped to go to the Denellen show. and get a little insight with Rhino and Matt Stryker and.
Don't forget the J Cub's coming back soon too, so
yep.
that's gonna be great.
Yep, maybe Ricky will let us cover that, you know, as the sole media outlet. Who knows?
Yeah,
really
that'd
cool.
be great, and I know he wanted to switch up the location too, so hopefully it'll be somewhere big.
Yep. All right, Nick, we're running out of time. We'd like to thank you again for calling in and your contributions to the interview with Jasmin St. Clair. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely, guys. You guys have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
And we'd like to thank our fans for tuning in for Damage 365 episode number 33. I hope you enjoyed what you were able to understand with Jasmin St. Clair. Tune into our Facebook page if you want to re-listen, facebook.com/Damage365. Have a great night, guys.